I am back. I am back. I'm glad you guys are tuning in. I'm hoping that you guys have had a great summer. You are enjoying your time, but guess what? Summer is almost over, so I want to come back in and just kind of talk to you guys a little bit about what's happening during the summertime for all the educators, for parents, for all those stakeholders that are focused on education. So I want to come in time with you, talk with you for just a little bit, and we're going to end this and we'll come back. We'll try to get back to a regular schedule after this session. But it is summer. I've been taking breaks. I've been working really hard. For those that don't know, summertime is really a busy time for educators. It's a busy time for me and my with consulting. And so we've been working, we've been teaching, we've been planning, we've been training. There's been a lot going on. It's been a very super summer, but it's been a very productive summer as well. So I've had a good time. So go ahead, tune in, share this right now with somebody. For those that are watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Remember, if you're on YouTube, we're still trying to get to those 1,000 followers. So I really want you to go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Fully engaged education. Go ahead, go to YouTube now. Fully engaged to the masses, so to speak. And so I definitely want you guys to support the cause, support the initiative, and most importantly, share the information. This is information that can help anybody, parents, students, teachers, leaders, district or school-wide. So go ahead and do that. So first of all, like I always say, it is after 9 o'clock. I'm here in Atlanta, so it's after 9 o'clock here. Go ahead, get your cup, get your mug, whatever it is that you want to sip on for this evening, you can do so. There is no judgment on Teacher Talks. This is a safe space for adults to do adulting. I, of course, am drinking my coffee. I drink coffee all day. I have been inundated with coffee drinking since I started teaching high school, and I just can't shake that bug. And so I drink probably 2 cups of coffee a day. And so this is my Sagittarius mug. It is Sag season all the time for those that are not Sagittarius, or for those that are just haters of Sagittarius. We still love you. So I'm not going to hate on you tonight. So tonight we are talking about summer is almost over. Wow, where did the summer go? Now, for those of you that are willing to be bold and get into the chat on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, it is open. It's an open floor for you to have dialogue with the community. I invite it. I encourage it because remember, you drive the conversation here on Teacher Talks. So I want to talk about 4 points tonight as we talk about what's happening as summer's wrapping up and what you guys could potentially be doing to drive student achievement in your areas. And I talk about this in my book that's coming out hopefully in about a month or two. I've been working and writing this, something I've been working on this summer really hard, trying to get this book done because I think it is just a piece of work that's really going to help educational professionals, whether you are in the classroom, whether you're a parapro, whether you're at the district office or you're working at the state level. And also for those that are coming in to support education as consultants, as program offerings through technology, whatever you do to support education, I think this book could really open up a lens as what's important, how we prioritize our work, and where the need is and where the need is shifting and going to support the needs of this generation of students, because it's definitely not the generation I grew up in and not the generation that most of you all grew up in either. So first things first, what are you doing this summer? What's the first thing you want to look at as you guys start thinking about next year? Number one, looking at performance. Now, there are two folds to performance that oftentimes we don't consider. There is the performance of the adults, and there's also the performance of the students. So we want to look at real student data. Most of you guys have gotten back your state assessments or your district created assessments. You've got all this school data. The kids are being tested to death. So there's a plethora of information to inform you on how well your students have done this past school year, and maybe where you want to place the focus moving forward for this group of students, right? And I say this group of students, I'll get back to that specification of this, okay? Now, you also have a set of data for teachers. You have teacher data that is being accumulated based on how well their students are doing, but most states also have teacher evaluations, right? You've observed these teachers multiple times. You've been in their classrooms for formal and informal observations. You have a great, or hopefully a pretty good understanding of their effectiveness, where they are really, really strong and where they may have some undeveloped strengths. You're going to take that data, right? Student and adult, and you're going to just go through it, scan it. You want to get an idea, an overhead, as they call it, this high view of what's going on in the building, what's going on in the classroom, what's going on in the district, what's going on in the state. Once you collect that data, then what do you think you're going to do next? What do you think you're going to do next? Oh, I've got some lovely people here. I've got Dr. Drummer. Dr. Drummer says, I'm here. Ms. Jackson says, I'm here. Thank you guys for watching. Drummer says, number one, performance of the adults as well as the learners. Key. I'm dropping nuggets. Not mics, people. I'm dropping nuggets. Nuggets are cheaper than dropping mics. So I can afford a nugget here or there. I can't afford to keep dropping mics because mics break. You have to you have to purchase new mics. Like, that's super expensive. So I'm just gonna drop nuggets because they're mine and they're free. So thank you guys for tuning in, watching. I always appreciate you. Remember, go ahead and share. Ms. Jackson says, I've had enough of drinks today. Well, yeah, if you've had enough drinks today, Ms. Jackson, then don't go get another one. I don't encourage it. Just get you some tea, maybe some maybe caffeine could work, and maybe some coffee. I encourage you to do something different. But hey, it's your business. Do whatever you want to do. Oh, I've got another face here that we're going to connect really, really soon because I need her to look over something for me. And this is a good friend of mine. We go way back. I'm not going to say how far back because she may not want to divulge how old she is, although she doesn't look old at all. But this is a friend of mine, Crystal Flowers. Thank you for watching. She said she's going to look at last year's state data. Consider COVID, baseline. There's learning loss, but learning loss has always existed, right? Learning gaps have always existed. So they have been a little bit expedited, enlarged. Gaps have become a little bit, have increased in certain areas, right? Some students have done the same or better even through COVID. But then what she says is next is she's going to make plans to address those gaps. So number one, I said you're going to go and look at performance of adults and students. Number two, before you get into that plan, this is what you want to do. Prioritize the need. Number two, prioritize the need. Look at the performance of adults and students, number one. Number two, prioritize the need. And why do I say prioritize the need? I say that because oftentimes in education, we put way more on our plate that we can consume in a healthy and productive way. You can't eat everything that's on the plate. The needs are great, right? In some areas, they're greater than others. You can't fix everything. Yes, I know we wear capes on our backs, right? We're superheroes. We do the impossible. We do the unthinkable, right? But we can't do it all. So when you look at that data, you've got to prioritize the need. Where is the greatest needs for the majority of your teacher staff? Where is the greatest need for your student population overall? Is it reading, right? Is it comprehension? Is it literacy? For those elementary babies, do they not know facts? Those not facts, the phonics, right? Are they struggling with just the basics before they even get to reading comprehension? And if it's your middle school kids and your high school kids, if they're reading below grade level, and if the issue is really an issue of comprehension, there may be an issue of stamina, it may be an issue of lack of exposure to literacy, focus on intentional reading comprehension, building up those muscles for reading, right? If that's a priority, then you want to, then number three, as Crystal said, make a plan to address those prioritized needs. Strategically, what's the most important? And working your way down the list year after year after year. Now, I'm very specific about saying that as well, because you can't do everything in one year. Some of us have all these programs, all these resources, all these initiatives. It is too much. Remember, education is filled with humans, not machines, right? We can only produce and do so much. Our capacity is limited. And you also have to know that. So when you look at that performance, what is the capacity of the adults? What can they do well now? And what can they eventually do well later? Prioritizing, working your way down that list. So, number one, looking at the performance of the adults and the students in your building, in your district, in your state. Number two, prioritize the need. All right, you got that, drummer? Prioritize the need. Oh, Flower says this is no longer a plate. The work that we're doing, she says, is no longer a plate. It is, she says, a platter. I love that. I love it. I love it. I need to post that for you all to see that if you're not on Facebook, because that's a great comment. It's not a plate, it's a platter. Okay. And they're expecting us to eat from this buffet, right? I don't want it. I don't want it. I deny it. I've had enough. I've consumed as much as I can consume. Take me away from the table. I'm taking a to-go plate, people. I'm not even staying anymore to eat with you. I'm taking mine to go so that I can take my time and eat it at my own pace, right? I don't want a buffet. I don't want the platter. I'm taking my plate to go, right? Taking my plate to go. So prioritize the need. Drummer is keeping notes for us. Thank you for that. I think I had somebody just drop into Facebook. Oh, yes. Miss Valeria Colbert, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. I want to drop her comment in here for us to delight in. So Miss Colbert says, what I said, she's just saying, hey, humans are not machines. They can't do it all. All right. So number one, going back to our note taker here is Miss Drummer. Miss Drummer says, number one, we're going to look at the performance of adults and students in the building. Number two, what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize the need. Remember, you can't do it all, at least not right now. I always tell people, some of the ideas that you have, they're good ideas, but the timing is bad. Great ideas, bad timing. All right. Number three, you're going to plan for success. Plan for success. And that is going to be a strategic way of dealing with those prioritized needs. I posted this on LinkedIn the other day, and this is what I said. There's nothing wrong with SMART goals, but SMART goals need to be accompanied by wise planning. Wise planning. And in that word wise here, I'm using to be consistent, aligned, and strategic. Consistent, aligned to the need, and strategic. You've already fleshed out how this is going to flow throughout the year, right? You've looked at the performance of adults and students. You've prioritized the needs and realized I can't do it all. These are the things I can do. And now you have made wise, strategic plans to address those needs. Now, I say that because sometimes we have all these plans, right? And some of these plans have nothing to do with what you've identified to be a need. So now you're just adding things back to the plate. Remember, we were trying to take stuff off the plate. Sometimes we start putting more things on the plate because these are things you cannot monitor, you cannot support, and you can't even evaluate by the end of the year because you don't have enough data, whether it be qualitative or quantitative, to say whether it worked or didn't work. It's just something that you added. So if you can't monitor it, if you can't support it, if you can't evaluate it, guess what? Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Don't put it on the plate. Don't put it on the serving line. Leave it off. Not saying it's not good. It's just not good right now. Okay? Comments keep coming. You guys are really, really in the comments. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So remember, If you have questions about some of the things that I'm saying, if you have comments, even share experiences. Crystal and I both know we've been in education for a while. We've been multiple places at different levels, and we've seen a whole bunch of stuff. I want to say something else. I was talking with an S, but I decided not to because this is being recorded and will go on YouTube. And I want to be a professional, so I'm not going to say the other S word. I'm just going to say stuff. We've seen a bunch of stuff. We've seen a bunch of ineffective stuff. We've seen a bunch of, here in the South, we call it a bunch of foolishness. That's a word that one of my good friends, Debbie Denard, likes to use that I've stolen from her. It's just a bunch of foolishness. And so it begins to be a waste of time because you don't see the fruit of whatever side seed that you planted for that year, right? It's a wasted seed because it's not fruitful. Don't waste seeds. Don't waste your seeds of intellect. Don't waste your seed of time. Don't waste your seed of purpose. And don't waste your seed of capacity, because I'm not saying that we don't have educators who are not very well capable of turning up the heat and moving the needle. People can do it. They're smart. They have the capacity. They have the experience. Sometimes it's just the plan that falls through the crack. And that sometimes happens because we plan by ourselves. Education is a community. It's not meant to be done in silos. That's a whole conversation that I can have for a whole nother day about collaboration and building up community. All right. Not tearing down community. That could take me into culture. And these are all things that impact school, student, and adult success. But I'm just kind of leaving little nuggets right here. But yeah, drummer, a bunch of foolishness. It's a bunch of foolishness. And we've got to stop engaging in unproductive decision making. Because unproductive decisions are a product of unproductive behaviors are a product of unproductive decision making. We've got to think smarter, right? What is it that we're going to do strategically? And the key word I said there was we, not me, not you. What are we going to do collectively? What can I build value in that would add to the school structure, function, and overall success of students and adults? Adults need to feel as successful too, right? It's not great if only the students are reaping benefits and teachers aren't reaping benefits. They don't feel rewarded. They're not being acknowledged. They're not growing. It's a place where we all grow and learn. Okay. So number one, look at the performance, adults and students. Number two, prioritize the need. You can't do it all at one time and do it all in 1 year. 3 to 5 year focus, and that's going to reflect in your number three, your plan, right? So you can have this 3 to 5 year strategic plan, but you need to have an annual plan. This is what this looks like long term. This is what this looks like right now. And identify the roles of your key players. What will teachers be doing? What will leaders be doing? What will students be doing in this plan? If it's only one-sided, if it only talks about what teachers do, if it only talks about what the leader will do to help guide the work, if it only talks about what students will do, that ain't a plan, people. It's not a plan. It's not a strong plan. It's a plan for a particular group. The plan needs to be totally inclusive of every stakeholder in the building that will support and be involved in creating achievement. All right, drummers as adults need to feel successful too. That's one of the things we sometimes miss. We don't recognize our adults. We hang our hat with students. We sometimes principals get recognized for things, but what about the teachers? And here's the other thing, and we'll talk about this next week. What about the parents? Sometimes we don't recognize our parents enough for what they bring to the table. We always talk about what they don't bring to the table. But guess what? That platter Crystal talked about, they can help consume some of that food if you invite them to the table. I'm not even gonna go there. Not gonna go there. All right. So you got that plan. You've identified the roles of all of the key players, adults, students in the building, even adults outside of the building. Who can help you? What programs can help you? What resources can help you? What models that already exist that have proven a record of success that look like yours that you can follow? Keyword, that looks like your environment. Okay, if I'm in a Title I majority Black and brown population, 22,000 students, very low performing, I cannot follow a high performing all white majority white school in Montana that looks nothing like my rural Title I district in Georgia. We don't look alike in any way. So there are many things that they're doing that's not going to work for me right now because we're so dissimilar. Because when people are dissimilar, there are disconnections, right? Find those things that look like your ability that they're doing that would work for you. But if it's totally off kilter, if it's totally left and right, north and south, east and west, hot and cold, don't do it. Don't do it. Those are I'm talking about, those unwise decisions. People will sell you a bunch of stuff that don't work for you. One, because of the population that you have. Number two, maybe the culture that exists in the building. Or number three, the lack of capacity to do that type of work. Again, great thinking, bad timing. Great thinking, just bad timing. Okay? Yes, I said Montana. Okay, I just had to pick a state that did not really compare or look like Georgia. All right, give me a break. Judgment. God, there's a lot of judgment going on in here. All right. Now, the last thing is this. After you've taken those four things, you've looked at the performance, you've looked at the plan, you prioritize the need, you know who your key players are. Now, you have got to build in opportunities for professional learning, professional development, so that you can yield professional growth, build the capacity of both teachers, and that will roll down to the students. Now, I'm not talking about a dog and pony show, right? Where you have this one shot of professional learning that happens one time, and then you tell teachers to go and do it. You guys can do it. This 1 hour training session has really set you guys up for success. And we're going to take this 1 hour and we're going to implement it throughout the whole school year. You don't need another training. You don't need another reminder. You don't need a refresher. You don't need a follow-up. You don't need support. After this one training, you will have everything you need to go ahead and just do it. I don't think that's wise. Okay. I don't think that's wise at all. So when you develop that plan, and when that plan, not if, but when that plan includes professional learning, you need to determine how does that look and flow throughout the year. How often will you come back to that same idea, that same resource, that same strategy, that same program to support teachers in its implementation or in the delivery of the strategy or skill, right? It needs to be transparent, consistent conversation about these things or this one thing the whole year. Professional learning yields professional growth, but it has to be transparent, it has to be communicated consistently, and it has to be implemented in a very strategic way throughout the year, right? Throughout the year. And so those are things that you should be thinking about this summer. Those four nuggets that I just dropped on you. Those are the things that I have been focusing on this summer in my work. I have been practicing these things that I'm talking about that I go into these schools. I have been practicing on students because it doesn't mean anything if you can't do it if you haven't seen it done yourself. And so I'm a true believer of being right on the ground doing the work, because if I do it, it makes it real when I communicate it and share it with my clients, with my partners, with my friends, my other stakeholders. So I am always in the work, still doing the work in leadership, still doing the work of instructing, because it is where it really begins. And so I practice these things, and I find little nuances that work, that don't work, and there's some things that need to be tweaked a little bit, right? There's some great strategies, but you got to know how to make them work for you. And the environment that you live in and you thrive in and that you work in. And so those are some of the things that I have for you. I want to say thank you guys for watching out. We've been on almost 30 minutes. That was quick. I didn't actually want to hold you guys longer than 30 minutes tonight because I'm just popping in. As you can see, I've got my summer hat on. I'm just still in chill mode. I'm trying to enjoy these last couple of weeks before it all pops back off for me. I have a young one that will be going to kindergarten this year. So this is like, as we say, she's going to real school. She's going to big kid school. So I'm excited for her. I'm excited for her to start her educational journey. I'm right there in her corner, supporting her 10,000% at every step of the way, supporting the school, supporting her teachers, supporting her leaders, supporting the district that she attends school in. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about everything that's going to happen this year for her. I'm excited for other students. I'm excited what's going to happen for teachers. I'm excited for myself. I'm excited to get back into buildings, working with teachers. That is what I do. It is my pure existence. I'm also looking to get back into partnering with research this year. I've kind of stepped away for a little while, but I think the research is also where the work begins. And so if you know anybody that's looking for a research fellow, postdoc, let them know I am here. I'm looking for some opportunities to kind of reconnect. And then eventually I want to get back into higher ed, whether it be associate, adjunct. I want to be connected with other educators who are trying to build their capacity, who could benefit from hearing me run my mouth a little bit and share my experiences with them. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great, great year. For all you parents out there, I'm hoping that you have had a restful summer. For all my teachers, I hope that you guys have had a restful summer. I hope you haven't been to too many trainings. Hope you haven't been to too many conferences, because you can experience burnout. You really need to take some time out and rest, because the summer is almost over. And so get that time to yourself. Get into some quiet spaces that you can just kind of chill, free your mind, relax, hear yourself breathe. All those things are like super, super important. If you haven't done it, you've got a little more time. For those here in the South, you have a little less time. Your summer is coming to an end mighty quickly. For those that are on the East, up north and west, you got some time that they don't have here in the South. So just remember, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, those things are super important. If you don't do it, you cannot fully give the best you have to offer if you're tapped out. That's probably the best way I can say it. When you're tapped out, if nobody's pouring into you, including yourself, what's left? What do you have to offer? And most of the time, it's not a whole lot. So take these next several weeks to yourself and just enjoy yourself. Chill out. Relax. Any final thoughts or questions anyone has before we get ready to wrap up this particular session? I thank you guys so much for joining in. I hope you learned something. I hope you had some reflective moments. And then hopefully I'll see you guys next week. It is my plan to come back next week and continue my weekly series. But remember, I'm trying to get myself together too. My summer's coming to a close. Crystal says, I've enjoyed this. I needed this reminder. Look at the data, prioritize the needs, and make a plan. That's right, my friend. That's right, my friend. So any other final thoughts? I really, really appreciate you guys. Just tuning in. Why? Because you don't have to. It's a choice. And so just thank you. I appreciate you. Any other final thoughts? I'm checking Facebook. I'm looking on LinkedIn. Also on YouTube. You guys are always faithful. Remember, go ahead and share this. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm moving along. I'm not where I want to be. So I'm really going to be pushing this this year about getting those subscribers up. And I need you guys to help me out. Please, please, please help me out. All right. Well, if as they say, if all hearts and minds clear, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the remainder of your time, and then come back. Join me next week. I will be right here, same time, same place, 9 o'clock ish, every Thursday for Teacher Talks. This is a place where a simple teacher sits here and runs their mouth, because I am a teacher that loves to talk and share. See you guys next week. Be safe, be blessed. See you then. Do you believe in wearing fashions that spread positive messages? Well, Fully Engaged Education now offers merchandise that will do just that. And we are spreading the word that a high quality education is deserving of every student, everywhere, every day. Fully Engaged Education has now crafted beautifully designed hoodies, sweatshirts, long and short sleeve tees that come in a variety of colors that will be perfect for any season. So go check out Fully Engaged Education and select those beautiful pieces that will be sure to set off any outfit that you plan to wear. Fully Engaged Education is committed to providing information and access to ensure every student can be successful and every student has an opportunity to learn.